Alright, let's talk about your live performance. So we're gonna come back into the world. Yamus gonna hit them stages and do his thing. When you perform, do you memorize your songs or do you like plan on playing your track and kind of going over it like that? Like, how do you picture your live
Um,
performance going?
how do I picture my life? I know all of my songs off by heart. Mix of, repeating it so many times to myself in recording and listening to my own music. I love listening to my own music and finding things that I don't like and changing them and kind of making, small minor changes. And I find that in listening to them often. So I don't tend to forget my lyrics, but I think that there's a vibe in the way it's recorded that comes off a little differently than live performances, and like it's a famous saying, some people are better live and some people are worse live. And I think that people that are coming to your live are enjoying the music you're putting out, that you've recorded and you've put work into, and there's a talent in mixing and mastering, and shout out to all the guys that do that. They're like, crazy talented. And I think that a mix of both is kind of keeps the energy up. I don't believe in lip syncing or any of that kind of stuff, but I think that having, at least a little bit of it in the background keeps that vibe and energy that you created with the type of music that you made when you recorded in the studio.
That is so different than how I appreciate live performances, but it's still real and it's still what y'all do with it. I respect the fact though that you know all of your tracks and that you're gonna come bring it. But man, it's crazy. Like I have a live versions of my songs where I keep my ad libs or whatever, and they're at like half volume, and then I keep my choruses at half volume. But otherwise, I just rip the verse. I don't give a shit if it sounds like the studio. You're not in the studio. You're live. It's never gonna sound the same. I can't be that. So I just fucking do this shit. If I can hit it on beat and I can say the words properly and it's good enough, then it's a good live show. Because live shows is mad different. It's like a lot more about exuding confidence and eye contact and interacting with the crowds. And you can have fun with crowds. You can just tell them what to do and they do it. Like, yo, make more noise, and they're like, and you're like, you know what? That wasn't enough noise. Please. I usually don't say please. I'm usually way ruder. Make more noise. And then it's funny because if you're really rude, they really do make more noise. And it's this baffling like reverse psychology of real life that I fucking fucks with. Dude, I fuck up every live performance and people don't even care. You care in the YouTube after, but you don't care in the moment. It's just a vibe. It's like a whole vibe of imperfection that like I love. So if you bring your shit without that backtrack and you just fucking rip your verse, I guarantee you that audience is gonna fucking respect you like in a huge way. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't know what the right choice is. I know I've listened to the debate for a decade.
Yeah, I mean, I was never I didn't go to many concerts. I've probably been to four in my life. So when I started going to concerts, and if you've been to at least, I would say, mainstream concerts, Drake, Travis Scott, it's a lot of background track to it. And that's kind of like the way I always saw concerts. I never went to see live like bands besides, when I played them pretty much. So to me, that was like kind of how I always saw it. And again, I've never done a live performance. I don't even know, maybe I'll do it and I'll hate with the backtrack, and maybe I won't. So,
I like that
that's just
attitude.
kind of how I look at it. So
For real though, all the live performances you've seen, everybody famous, everybody's just doing this, so it's kind of like what makes sense and shit. I don't know, man. Like for me, it's not like there's a right and a wrong, right? At the end of the day, there's you connecting with your audience, and whatever works for you works for you. I just know what I like better. As like a fan, I'm like, yo, if mans can perform the track without the backtrack, that's the littiest shit. Cause then you hear it. Then you can do that shit like slip up the one little line and make it like Montreal or Dorval or Point Claire. Or, you just like do that little fucking flip ups, and you can create that slightly more personalized version of the song in a way where it doesn't compete with your backtrack. But and again, that's if you want to do that shit. So I really like the fact that you're also open-minded enough to want to just fuck with it and see what works. That's a very smart approach to things. I also like the fact, just to give you your flowers, that you put all this time into like working on your songs and perfecting them, and like you said, you put effort into that shit, and you put effort into memorizing them and practicing them. And I know it may seem weird I'm highlighting this, but sometimes I like to highlight this with the young people because of the old people I know. It is what it is. There's generational misconceptions where literally every time I talk to somebody of your group of people, it's like, oh, they work really hard and they're extremely talented and they're using A/B testing to like optimize, and they seem to understand data and they're just fucking producing a lot. And that's my perception with y'all. So it's like, just kind of want to showcase that when I can and make sure that people take you seriously when they come across you because you are putting that work in.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that, like I said before, the ease of 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 technology being able to put out music, people being able to make music so easily, kind of, like puts the doubt in the minds of the older generation. And it makes sense. Like it is easy to make a song and kind of put no effort into it and use presets and all that stuff, but I think that you can kind of hear a difference when someone does put the time and the effort into it, and it shows in the way that they promote themselves and carry themselves, and and the type of music they put out, and the type of views they get at the end of the day.